What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mooncast. We're your hosts, Riley,
Macy,
Katie,
and we're here to give you the raw and real talk about cannabis, lifestyle, mindfulness, and everything in between. So grab a moon doobie, spark up with us, find a cozy spot, and tune in for this month's episode.
what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Guess who it is? It's us. It's the Mooncast. I'm sure you missed us, but now we've returned.
Now we have returned.
here we are.
And today's topic is the farm.
The Moon Farm.
So many people are always curious about what's going on at the farm, how we got started, all that jazz. So today is the day.
If you're a moon lover, you will know that all of our awesome products come straight from our plants. And our farm is about 15 minutes from our storefront here in Upshur County. And we have the coolest farm in the nation, possibly even the world,
Possibly even in the world. Nobody has a cooler farm than our farm. So yeah, we just kind of wanted to start by going through our process, like all of the stages of our farm season, and then we're going to talk about some of the fun things that our farm has and what we do there. So let's dive into it. We're starting with the greenhouse, which we are actually starting tomorrow, which is what inspired us
to do the farm cast.
Yeah. Tomorrow we are putting in our 5 new strains for our 2024 grow season. We are actually reintroducing our top 3 sellers of all time since this is our 5th year growing, our 5-year anniversary of being farmers. So that's going to consist of Suver Haze, everybody's main favorite, Pink Panther, the White, classic CBG strain. And then we are bringing in 2 new strains, Sour Electra and Pine Berry.
Honestly, if you're a podcast listener, you just got the exclusive drop because we wait so long to drop our strains.
Yeah.
So shout out to our Mooncast listeners.
Yeah, for real.
There's the inside scoop.
Yeah, so when we start in the greenhouse, it's important that we don't just put our seeds directly into the dirt, because we did that our first year and learned very quickly that most of the time that doesn't work for whatever reason.
So we go in the greenhouse and we plant them all on different, so each table's a different strain. We plant them all and wait till they get a certain height till we think that they can survive on their own in the elements. And then that's when we bring them down at the field. But in the greenhouse, it's nice because it's, covered from the rain and the droughts and intense heat and all of these different elements that we would otherwise have to fight in the field. But sometimes the greenhouse has struggles of its own. For example,
mice.
Yeah. Mice. I was going to say, we don't have to go right into the mice.
Yeah, I was going to say, definitely go right into the
straight
mice.
into the mice.
Yeah. So, funny story. What was that? Like last year?
I think that was our second year.
Second year? Okay, so, wow. Time does fly.
When you're having fun.
Yeah, for real. But a couple years ago, we put all of our plants in. Everything was fine, moving and grooving. And then we showed up the next day and something had went into all of our starters and literally dug everything up by the root. Like, we had plants rooted up, laying everywhere.
And we're talking the second year, so we're talking over 1,000 plants. Like, this was
like 5,000 plants.
Yes, like this was hours of work that we got done the night before, and we were so proud and relieved. Finally, we got all of these germinated seeds into the dirt, and we show up to the greenhouse, and it was like a freaking massacre. Like, everything was, the mice. Screw the mice, on God, because they were, it was terrible. So then we were like, okay, we got to double down, and we started putting fishnet over top of all of our trays in their seedling stage, which sucks because it was a lot of work, but it keeps the critters out. Sometimes birds will get into the greenhouse and wreak havoc the way that the mice do. But we learned. So now our greenhouse operation is better than ever.
Yeah, it's actually, if you think about our very first year, and how hard the greenhouse stage was. Like, now that's a stage that I barely think of. Like, we just kind of go through it and
Yeah,
go
now
through
it's more
the motions.
chillax that we got to figure it out.
But the first year, I felt like the greenhouse was something that we just like could not get right. Granted, first year, as you may know, we planted 15,000 plants, which was way above our heads. We had
miserable.
never been farmers before. Also, if you didn't know that, me and Macy have never farmed anything at all.
Not only had we not farmed things, but not to sound like losers, but we, like, as far as manual labor goes,
That wasn't really
that was
our
like
thing.
that was like us entering into the world of manual labor.
Yeah.
What year did you start on the farm? Was that our second year?
No, I think third year.
Third year. So we had, for the most part, stuff figured out by then. But yeah, the other thing that sucks about the greenhouse is the heat. Obviously, that's what it's for, but the sweltering heat in the swamp ass. And we just have like these giant fans, giant fans that, you know, they do what they can, but it doesn't always.
And normally you're high too, which the heat adds a lot to.
Yeah.
A little delirious.
Oh, yeah. Delirium for sure.
Yeah, but luckily the greenhouse stage doesn't last extremely long. We jump into transplanting probably, a month after being in there, and that's just, we wait until the plants like can endure nature before we move them out.
Because if we were to start them, like if they were sprouts in the field, they would get mowed down by like rainstorms and wildlife and stuff like that. But yeah, so whenever they're ready to the point that we think that they're able to survive on their own in the ground, we transplant them. So we take them all in solo cups and drive all of these solo cups from the greenhouse down to our fields, where we have rows of plastic pooled. So the black plastic kind of works for, I guess, reflecting the sun onto, it keeps it organized, number one, keeps the weeds at bay, but also reflects the sun back up onto the plant. So the plastic rows are really helpful, and we have holes poked in these rows that are like solo cup size.
perfectly solo cup size, really.
And then we drop all of them in there, and then we have this conga line of like whoever's available to help that day. And we all get in a line, and we all go in front of a solo cup in a hole, take it out of the solo cup, put the plant in the hole, and boom.
And then you do it over and over and over and over again until you've planted 1,000
hundreds of times of squatting. That's the thing. My ass gets so tired of squatting repeatedly down that I'll just be like crawling.
It's a lot of up and down.
rows.
Yeah, you do a crab walk to your next plant.
Yeah, I feel like some people just assume like, oh, they've got that automated by now, right?
Hell no. We are the machine.
Yeah, the moon team is the machine, but that just shows like we put that love in it. Our hands
At
are on
TLC.
these. Yeah, our hands are on these plants at every
Yeah,
stage.
every single plant too.
Yeah. One thing that we did learn the first year is when we put our plants in, we also normally bring our dogs to the farm.
Dogs love the farm.
Yeah, but the dogs will also just absolutely mow down our plants at that stage.
They love the farm so much that they're in constant like zoomy mode. And so there was it was like our second year. We brought all the dogs on transplant day, and our friend had a Doberman named Ziggy. And this dog ran down one row like a straight shot and managed to knock down like, oh my gosh.
So many.
We were like, no, we cannot bring the dogs here anymore until these plants are big enough for them to weave through. So
yeah,
that's
lots
a big
of
thing that we
birds
learned.
make their homes
Deer.
around those plants. Deer, but surprisingly enough,
Knock
deer,
on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood.
We
right now.
always worried, because we have so many deer on the farm, and we always worried that they would wreak total havoc on the plants. But it's the groundhogs.
The groundhogs you got to be looking for.
My dad is at war with the groundhogs on the farm. He just goes up there and takes out all of his anger by killing the groundhogs.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
Sorry, groundhog lovers that are listening, but
I'm
it has to
personally
be
a
done.
groundhog lover.
I love groundhogs.
You would love a groundhog.
I love groundhogs. I love critters. I love raccoons.
But
What's
I
your
love
favorite
him.
animal?
A raccoon.
A raccoon?
I like skunks. My favorite critter.
Yeah.
Pretty
Anywho.
cute. Stinky cats.
Another thing,
Stinky cat.
there's this bird called a killdeer that love the farm, and they're like ground nesting birds. So instead of building their nest in trees, it's like they build it on a flat piece of ground, and they love the fields that we bury our hemp in or plant our hemp in. And so we have these 2 killdeer that come back every year, make a nest in our field, and the dogs, these birds are so smart that they will lead our dogs away from the nest, and it just causes total chaos because the dogs are chasing these birds down all of the rows in the farm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But honestly, wildlife and a couple elemental things, like anytime there's too much rain or like a storm,
Cold snaps,
caterpillars we have a hell of a time with. But those are the things that we have to worry about outside planting.
Yeah, for sure. Once the plants are in the ground and they start growing, we have like this whole other set of things that we just battle the entire summer. Our entire farm is riverfront, which comes with its perks, like so easy to water our plants, which is great, but it also creates a massive amount of humidity, which sometimes causes spotting on our plants. And normally there's definitely chemicals that you can use within your soil and on your plants to help
prevent
that.
spotting.
But we are dedicated to not using chemicals, which
Makes
has its
farming a
perk.
hassle.
Yeah, it makes farming really hard to do, but all in the name of producing something really great. So we use, when it comes to that, it's fish emulsion, I believe, which is just ground up fish. Yum.
Yeah, that's the best when you go around putting that shit on the plants and it smells like shit.
Yeah.
I hate the fish emulsion days.
What's in the big backpacks that we use to spray?
Yeah, the only thing that we put on our plants, what is that, diatomaceous earth or something
Yeah, it's like
that?
baking soda and
Peroxide and water, I think.
Yeah.
And this diatomaceous earth, which is like ground up seashells, I believe.
Yeah.
Mom knows more about this than we do. But
Yeah.
we go around with these Ghostbuster backpacks full of gallons of this liquid. This shit is hard.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, in the sweltering sun. Like, I'm
Yes.
sure people do a lot harder work, but for us,
It's a lot.
it's a lot on us.
We're just some girls.
Yeah, and it's like
Girlies.
leaking. It's like leaking fish oil on your back and shit like
Yeah.
that. And we're going around with these backpacks.
And having to pump the
you have to
backpacks.
pump on one side and spray with the other hand, and every plant up and down. Yeah, all natural practices sometimes makes farming a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
but it's good. So
Yeah, and there's unfortunately not a lot of all natural pesticides. I mean, you can use, I think we use a eucalyptus and giant knotweed extract. There's a whole formula that my mom came up with, but yeah, we have that to avoid a lot of different pests, but one pest that just does not give a shit about anything that we put on it is the caterpillars.
that's the worst day at the farm.
It is the worst.
I'm a lover.
Yeah.
I'm an animal lover, and we
Yeah.
have to go around. Caterpillars, they wreak so much havoc that we have to go around to the plants. And if you see a caterpillar, you just gotta cut it in half with a little thing.
Yeah, sorry,
I mean,
PETA
I
people.
hate to say it, but my ass will go out there and do a dab in the car, and then go straight from doing a dab to taking the caterpillars, and I'll be
taking
like,
their lives.
yeah, taking their
Yeah.
lives, and I'll be like, I am too high to cut this caterpillar in half, so I'll bring a little jar around me and put them all in there, and then run over to the edge of the field and let them go.
It's
Yeah.
very
Then they just come back and fuck you over, so you have to kill them. I hate
Yeah.
to say it, but you do.
Yeah.
It's very who am I to play God? But then you're like, I have to.
Yeah.
I have to play
But
God.
honestly, and then what hurts me is if I was a caterpillar, that's like a dream crib. That's like an MTV crib is a hemp plant.
For real, that shit smells good. It's nice and sticky, so you don't have to worry about falling
They
off of
probably
there.
feel great when they eat it.
Yeah, they're probably
probably
vibing. Yeah, Katie, what did you think the first time we told you, okay, we're going to go out here and we have to
Kill
cut-
every caterpillar that you see.
I literally hated it.
Yeah.
I hate it, and I still hate it,
I still hate it.
and
to
I
this
will
day.
hate it this year, and I'll hate it next year and the year
Forever.
after. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not fun.
It's not fun.
Sometimes
And they
I'll,
bite.
Yeah, they also bite, so you have to use...
Yeah, I started just like grabbing the caterpillar and yeeting it into the wood line. And my dad was like, Macy, I know that you don't like this, but that's not going in the long run.
They're coming back.
Yeah, you're not fixing the problem. So
It really is a massacre.
It's sad. And then we go have a team lunch afterwards, and we're
Yeah.
like, good
You're
job.
like, yeah.
Yeah, that's really not great. Sometimes I'll like do POV in my mind of the caterpillar.
Yeah, like
like
what
here,
they're feeling like.
Yeah, here I'm just munching on some great dank nasty leaves and
Dank nasty.
dank nasty, like
And then I
living
get
my
cut in
life.
half by a fucking rusty pair of scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even our sharpest pair of shears.
Yeah, not even the sharp ones. You gotta sometimes go in twice.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta double squeeze on
Oh
those
my
things.
god.
Ugh.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
everyone.
and like their little kids are watching them and shit. Their caterpillar kids.
Oh, they're caterpillar kids.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
Dad!
In front
Dad,
of the family.
no.
Yeah.
Aw.
Anywho's.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
They're like, what?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but those are really the only natural, like the outside factors that we face that screw us over during
Yeah.
our grow season. Caterpillars, groundhogs, humidity.
And then nitrogen deficiencies.
Nitrogen
That's what the fish
deficiencies.
oil is for too, or the fish emulsion. Like if the leaves ever turn yellow or anything like that, that's when we spray them down, which is
Yeah.
also caused by humidity and things.
But
as
the
well.
cool thing is the farm is surrounded by 2 miles of riverfront. So it's like a moat almost around our farm of the
yeah, it's
Buchanan
like a
River.
kingdom
So that allows for the perfect
or a queendom.
access. Yeah. It allows for the perfect access to water. So we can run all of those drip tapes and irrigation lines, and it's not even a big deal because the river's right there, which
Yeah.
is really cool. Yeah.
In the
farm
summer-
is the best place in the freaking world with
Yeah.
that riverfront.
I know. And in the summer, when you step on it and all the plants are like much bigger, you can just smell it from the very top. They
Yeah.
all kind of carry their unique smell, and you kind of got to like tickle them a little bit when you're down
Yeah.
there.
Like a scratch and sniff almost.
Yeah,
I don't
if
even
you,
know how to
move
explain
it around. It's like they get even more potent, and
Yeah.
some of them smell like berries. Some of them smell like Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, we've had a couple KFC smelling ones. We've had some ones that smell like a little lemon chop that you might get at a bar.
I think we've had some that smell like wine too, like Sauvignon
Yeah.
Blanc and
yeah,
stuff.
it's nuts how it's like the same plant, but from strain to strain, they have their own. They all just look different. They're different colors. They're different smells.
They
Yeah.
even grow
effects.
different.
Yeah.
Like their
There's, like,
shapes and structures
Yeah.
are all different.
It's
Strain
like
to
short
strain,
and stubby ones, tall and thin ones. It's the
bushy
best.
ones.
But yeah, the farm is not. I love the farm.
Yeah,
It's not just hemp either. Like we have so much going on up there. We have our own bees. We have beehives. We have fields of wildflowers. We have an
which
orchard.
the bees love.
The bees, yeah, it's this big cyclical, thing that they have going on because the bees love the hemp and then they love the wildflowers and they just pollinate everything and it's just the best thing in the world.
It really is. And beekeeping has been a venture that we've been on for 3 years now. And it's hard. I
is
will
hard.
say that's something that I thought like, oh, bees are very self-sufficient. They live out in the wild all the time, but they're picky. They really care about everything that's going on. And we have bees sometimes that'll just like leave the hive for absolutely no reason and just go build a nest right
Yeah.
across from
Like,
the hive.
They have a paradise that we set up for them and they're like, yeah, it's not quite enough.
Yeah, not quite
thanks.
enough. We have
No
sugar
thanks.
water laid out for them, the
Like,
highest grade bee.
Wildflower fields that we plant and all of the, yeah.
Yeah, and then if you piss them off, they're still going to wreck your shit. I
Yeah.
got chased down the hill one time and over 10 different.
One
Bee
thing with the
stings.
bees also, so this kind of goes into a different avenue of farming, but during the grow season, we have to do what we call sexing, which is every plant that we grow and harvest has to be a female cannabis plant. So if they're males, that means that they produce they pollinate the females And when the females are pollinated, they spend all of their energy onto producing seeds instead of spending all of their energy into producing high amounts of cannabinoids. So we need all of them to be females, so there's no seeds, and they just exert all of their efforts and energy into making the best shit possible.
And
That's
one-
actually sorry.
One male plant will ruin an entire field.
Yeah, that's a pretty common misconception. Everybody thinks like, oh, the male plants produce the THC. Nope. Female plants,
You're wrong.
across the board, whether it's hemp or marijuana, are producing the high amounts of cannabinoids.
Right.
It's not. The male plants just produce seeds.
And sometimes it screws us having all of these bees, because even though the plants pollen, like if there's a male, the wind just pollinates the females by like carrying all of their, I guess, pollen. Yeah, their pollen to the female plants. But our bees, who are constantly buzzing around and flying from plant to plant, will pollinate ours. Well,
They'll carry the pollen like to random
they
plant.
play such a big part in it. So sexing is a huge thing that we have to get done throughout the year. It's just going from plant to plant. The way that you do it is you bend down and you look inside. Okay. You peel back the leaves, and there's this little node on them. And if it's a female, there's 2 white hairs in the shape of a V. And then if they're males, they literally grow like these sacks of pollen.
balls.
It's balls.
Yeah.
Like they look like 2 balls on them. So it's like the V, the hairs that are V's are the girls, and if it's a boy, if it's a male, it's pollen. These sacks of pollen.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
I found my first male plant last year.
Shout out.
Yeah. How did you feel when you found your first male plant?
I was like, sorry guys. Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, it feels really good to catch them.
But dude, it's like on Monsters Inc. when they find the sock on the back of that guy. That's what happens when we find a male. It's like everybody's like, oh shit, and we run over and we clip it. We throw a garbage bag over top of it, so we're not pollinating it as we walk, like pollinating plants as we walk it out. Throw a garbage bag over it, carry it to it's crazy.
Yeah, and that was a piece of knowledge that when we first started, we really didn't have. And I know like a lot of, age-old cannabis farmers are like these rotten kids, but we didn't have this knowledge, and we just bought seeds. We didn't know that feminized seeds existed. So we just bought regular seeds and ended up finding males scattered.
It was like a genocide. We were literally we were chopping down 10 males a day for a summer. And it did result in a lot of seeds.
This was year 1.
This was year 1.
Year 1.
We
How
had
many plants did you guys do that year?
15,000.
That's insane.
And now we're doing like 1,500.
I think actually this year we're doing 800.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's not because we're doing any worse as a business. We just had a different business structure in the beginning.
We dialed it in, and now we're growing exactly what we need, if not a little bit more than we need.
Yeah.
And we're able to baby them like no other. Like doing 15,000 plants, not only was it miserable, but you couldn't give the TLC that you wanted to give. Whereas now we have this select amount in one field, and we're able to walk through and weed them
And actually enjoy our time.
Yeah.
It was not enjoyable at all. And we were doing that amidst like college classes, homework, all of those things. And it was just awful.
It sucked.
Did you guys see this? Oh, wait.
I did that.
You did? I was like, wow, that plant really...
No.
Is that a fake
That's
plant?
fake.
I think
I
it's
cut it
fake
off of
now.
that.
I was like, wait.
Oh, you took it
It
from
really came back to
I cut it
life.
off of that.
Sorry, that
freeze
was,
plant.
that was a
Anywho,
side thing.
note also, us 3. It's normally a whole like force of people at the farm, but one time it was just us 3 girls, and we're down there high as hell. Okay, we're always like smoking before we go in the field, and we look up, we hear this squaw, the screech. Okay, like echoed.
We're like, wait a minute.
We're like, what the
What's
hell?
up?
Yeah.
We look up, and there's 2 bald eagles. Like the most magical, serene thing that ever could have happened. And we're like, no. Katie's like, those are eagles. And we're all like tears streaming down our
They're
faces.
swooping above us.
Yeah, it was so cool.
But right before that, we had all just had a really personal experience with a deer that hopped every single row of him.
I forgot about that.
And crossed us like 4 feet in front of us while we're fucking high.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
And
And then the
seemed like a
eagles.
sign.
Yeah,
You know?
and then that day when I left the farm, I made eye contact with a giant red hawk that flew down right next to my car window, and we made eye contact. And I was
Whoa.
like, we need to buy lottery tickets.
Yeah.
And then we did, and we lost.
Oh.
Well,
It was probably a sign for something different.
Maybe something different. Yeah.
maybe
yeah.
not the West Virginia lottery.
Maybe just to show that we had hit the West Virginia lottery already.
In this life.
In this
Cute. That's so
already.
sweet.
Aw, we were
Yeah.
hit the lottery by being friends.
Aw,
Yeah.
Friendship was the true prize.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. But the farm outside of that has like, we have a full orchard that we've been working on now for a
Orchard's
couple years.
electric.
Yeah, we've got probably 30 to 40 different fruit trees that we planted there. And someday it's going to be so
Yeah,
magical.
like
They will bear
10
fruit.
In like
Yeah, it
10
will bear
years, we're gonna go through and it's gonna be like a book. It's gonna be like a freaking movie walking through there. You guys
Yeah.
know on Parent Trap where they're riding the horses through their vineyard?
Yeah.
That's gonna be the vibes.
That's gonna be
Hold the
us.
horses.
We're gonna
Hold the
have
horses.
Fucking can't do horses.
I can't do horses.
Horse- Who like horses are the
There are a
killer
lot of people that love horses.
horses are the killer whale of the land.
Yeah, it's like they look all nice and like you want to touch them,
And
then
they
you-
know when you're afraid.
Yeah,
Well, I think it's because you guys are approaching horses when you're afraid of them.
maybe I've been stomped in the head by a horse.
I watched.
Actually,
I literally watched Riley get knocked out by a horse, and now I'm
Straight
like, you
up.
know
That's very
what?
Paris Hilton of you.
I didn't know Paris Hilton got
She got
kicked in
stepped on by a horse on The Simple Life. Yeah,
No,
never seen that
Riley
show?
literally
No.
got her shit rocked by a
Oh my
horse.
God.
I was
Yeah.
standing there watching. It was like this horse. His name was Zip that she had always admired and wanted to pet. And one day it was in the front yard. She's like, "Oh my God, Zip's here! I'm gonna go pet it." And I'm watching her, and her dumb ass walks up behind it, which is like
Behind it?
this is like the number one rule of horses, and it rocks her shit.
It wasn't even though the behind kick. I remember like it like rearing up 2 front legs. I'm knocked to the ground already, and it's above me, and it just stomps on the top of my head. I still have a knot on my
It
forehead.
was like
from getting
Secretariat shit.
Yeah.
Hold the racing.
Hold the racing and my
stomped by
love for horses.
Secretariat?
stomped. Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, and I got attacked similarly by a llama.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you probably deserve it.
I left
That's a
Macy in the
side
dust
story.
when she got
Yeah,
attacked
she did.
by
But I
a
didn't-
llama.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not really about the farm animals. I'll do some chickens.
a cow. Cows are
Yeah,
fine
I'm
with
a
me.
great chicken catcher.
She does catch a good
I
chicken.
can catch chickens. I can sprint behind them
Brent, and then catch them?
and then catch them.
Wow.
You already know.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Moving
what's
on the podcast. So after the plants are in the field, we grow them, we raise them, we baby them, we sing to them, and all of a sudden it's October and it's ready. It's time. And the way that we know that they're ready to harvest is they have all these hairs on them. And if you're a weed smoker, you'll know what we're talking about. Like these little hairs, okay? And all of the hairs turn amber. So when like 80% of the hairs turn this amber color, like this deep orange, I almost want to say.
Yeah.
That's when you know they're ready for harvest.
yeah, that's like max cannabinoids. And then you
That's when they're
pull
at
'em.
their prime. So we all go through. Well, first we'll do like one harvest where we go through and we'll all cut like the best looking buds and the best looking like branches and put them all together for our smokable flour.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when they go to good old Katie, and Katie, you know, she gets them looking good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we do this harvest. And we have a warehouse that just has a bunch of string, like lines of string going from wall to wall. And we go there and we hang them,
Yeah,
which
and-
takes days.
Yeah, it has to be pitch black in there, perfect conditions. We control the temperature, which I think is best at 60 degrees.
Yeah. And then it's about 55% humidity that you need for hang drying.
Yeah.
And
And we hang dry because that's also the best way to do it. If you put them through a conveyor or any other type, like you're going to lose a lot of those trichomes on the top. Trichomes are just another word for keef.
or
And
like the frostiness on your nugs.
yeah.
Crystals.
And that's like that's where all the terpenes are. And if you didn't know, terpenes are a huge portion of like how potent something can feel, whether the effects are sativa or indica. Terpenes pretty much determine so much about your experience. And a lot of people sleep on that. But, everybody saves their keef in a keef catch. And that is what that is.
Yeah. Boom.
Very
just
cool.
a little knowledge. Just
Yeah.
spitting a little facts.
Just a little
for you guys.
education for you.
And then after we harvest, we got to go in and pull up all the plastic.
Yeah. Another crazy story.
Which
So,
is literal hell.
when I was
It's actual hell
the
on earth.
beginning of the podcast, I was talking about how we have those rows of black plastic that we plant in. One of the first, it was like the third year, I want to say, we went up and we have to pull all that plastic up because if we leave it over the winter, it's going to break and scatter and then we'll have plastic floating around the farm. We don't want that. So we all went out pulling plastic and we had been doing it for like 30 minutes. Just, raw dogging it, no gloves, nothing like that. Just
Yeah, we didn't really used to use gloves.
pulling
to be
plastic. And then Riley looks down, and we'll flash a photo of this. We'll get our awesome podcast guy, John, to flash you guys a photo of this. But we look down, and there's a massive mother black widow with a sack full of eggs. I didn't even know we had those here.
Yeah, I didn't know black widows were a
But
thing.
it was
in West Virginia.
huge, and it was just they like that plastic because of the heat and the moisture. And we looked down, and she was under one of them, and we were like, "Oh my god!" Just thought it was coincidence. So kept going.
Put
minutes
on
later,
gloves.
3 minutes later, found another one, and Mom was like, "Okay, everybody go to the truck and put on gloves."
Yeah.
And when we started paying attention, we saw well over a dozen black widows under these plastic tarps. What the hell?
Yeah. what the actual hell?
What
Yeah,
was
the
that?
first one I was like, wow, this is a sign. Like, what does this mean? And then we found like 12 more. I'm like,
It's like,
oh,
JK.
they actually just really love the plastic.
Right.
Yeah, I think I found 5 of them last year.
It was
my
so
We'll have
God.
to count again
So
this year.
now that's my
Yeah.
least favorite task.
Yeah.
Because that's like a Russian roulette right there.
Yeah,
dude.
and I just don't like creepy crawlies anyway.
I like a creepy crawly.
digging down in that deep of the dirt, like with your hands and just not knowing. That's awful.
It
That
is
was a good alliteration.
It was alliteration.
Digging
Down
down
in
in
that deep of the dirt.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'll
Write
put
that
that
shit
in a
down.
freestyle later.
Okay.
Yeah, later when we're freestyling, we'll break
Yeah,
that
maybe
back
that'll be
out.
the bonus track.
Come on. But yeah, and then we peel up all the plastic and freaking go start her back up again in April.
Yeah, for real. And then Katie just works all year
All year
at
trimming them.
trimming
Yeah, from
and
October
packaging.
to April, Katie's getting arthritis at 30, 29. You're 30,
30.
nowadays.
But I could just be getting arthritis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
that's
getting
true.
arthritis. 'cause
I'm not
she's-
actually getting arthritis.
She's
so
grinding for our brand.
I do be grinding.
You do be grinding.
But I don't think I have arthritis yet.
Yeah, if you've ever seen our perfectly trimmed flower, it's Katie.
It's Katie.
Yes.
Just put on
Chief
some Real
Keys.
Housewives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trim
you
up
know,
some nice plants.
In the zone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Soul. This is my third movie reference, I know, but Soul.
Solid movie.
That's
solid
solid
movie.
movie.
We
That's
should do a
her.
movie
She gets in the
review
zone. The
sometime.
zone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
there's
me.
there's
I
music
think
playing
I'm
in the
on
background.
like season 36 of Real Housewives.
Oh my god.
They have that many seasons.
I mean, different Real Housewives, but
anywho.
36 total seasons that I've watched.
Yeah, that's a side note. We're a Housewives podcast now.
Yeah, and then Katie can just
you
talk
guys know
and
Jenna
talk.
Lyons?
Stay tuned. But yeah, that's how the farm works.
Yeah, and a lot of people have questions about our biomass, so like what goes into our products, and they ask if it's indica or sativa or hybrid or how that works. And what happens is the rest of our flour that isn't the big fat buds that we use for smokable flour, we just put all together and use that as biomass for like distillate and things like that go into our plants. So we like to call it hybrid because it's a combination of lots of different strains. It can go one way or the other.
Called our house blend.
Yeah, house blend for sure. But outside of that, one thing I wanted to hit on today was this new THCA market, which we've gotten so many questions about, and people are asking why we're not doing this. And today I'm going to explain it for anybody who cares.
Okay.
So, not that I am against THCA. I think that THCA is a great legal loophole. THCA is basically the acidic form of THC. This is how THC exists naturally, just as the plant is harvested. So, for example, when we harvest our hemp plants, technically what's mostly making up the plant is CBDA, and that's the acidic form of CBD. It doesn't change into CBD until it is heated. So this can happen naturally under the sunlight or with like increasing temperatures in the summer, which is why you may see like some traces of just CBD on a COA. But CBDA converts to CBD when it's heated. This is the same when it comes to marijuana. Marijuana produces THCA in the plant, and after we put a lighter to it, it converts to THC. So THCA is a legal loophole. It is just regular THC. Now, what I have against...
Before it's been smoked.
Yeah, before it's been smoked. What I have against THCA is that it cannot be legally grown in West Virginia by a West Virginia hemp farmer. So any of these places that you see that are carrying THCA flower, there is no legal possibility that that flower was grown here in state. All of these companies are sourcing this flower from out-of-state producers where it is legal to grow THC plants or THCA plants, but it's not legal here. So this product is screwing the West Virginia hemp farmer and hemp businesses like us that are dedicated to a seed to sale process because we can't legally offer it. So not that I think that it's bad for you or it's questionable. You know how we are with legal loopholes here.
Love 'em.
Yeah, love them. But we are dedicated to giving you guys a product that is produced by us that we can guarantee everything that went into it. So just know that when you support the THCA part of this industry, you're not supporting any West Virginians. You're just supporting West Virginia farmers. You're just supporting the shop owner.
Boom.
So,
Had to drop that on you guys real quick.
yeah, just in case you didn't know that. Had to
you
get into the
didn't know, now you
technicalities.
do.
Yeah, for sure. But thanks for listening,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for listening about our farm. If anybody ever wants to come, just let us know.
We will take you around and probably do a couple of tequila shots on the farm
And show you an eagle.
and
Yeah.
then make you look at the stars.
And then make you chop a caterpillar into pieces in front of his family.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks for listening, and since you've made it this far, here's 20% off your next Moonflower order. Use coupon code PODCAST20 at moonflowerhemp.com for 20% off at checkout. Thanks so much and have an awesome rest of your week.